0, 1. Let's get started.
All right, welcome to episode 27 of Unforced Error. Today we have the number 41 player in the world in singles, a member of the Texas Ranchers, a podcast host, a pickleball facility owner, a giant slayer, Matthew Barlow. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. Don't know if I've earned the giant slayer term yet, but appreciate it.
All I'm saying is I Googled it and I said, who's the giant slayer in pickleball? And that's what Gemini told me. So there's no way AI is wrong.
That's funny. That's good stuff.
Well, awesome. Let's get started here. How's everything going in the world of Matthew Barlow?
Yeah, it's busy, man. It's busy. Like you guys said, I have a facility here in Omaha and a family, a wife and a 2-year-old daughter. So this transition into playing more pickleball has been quite the undertaking, I would say. So just trying to balance things at the moment, but busy, but I love being busy. So nothing to complain about here.
And you're originally from Omaha?
No, I'm originally from Abilene, Kansas. I grew up in a small town, went to college at Washburn University in Topeka, Kansas. Ended up getting into college coaching and then found my way to Omaha, Nebraska through the University of Nebraska Omaha men's coaching gig. So I did that for 5 years and then had the opportunity to partner to open up a pickleball facility. So that's how I'm here.
Well, tell us a little bit about your start, where you came from, maybe how you found pickleball. Just tell the people who you are.
Yeah. Your typical college tennis, player, graduated, still had that competitive itch. Got into pickleball at the Topeka Country Club. My boss, Junior Brown, shout out him. We started kind of hitting the ball around. Some of the members were interested in seeing what this was all about. So got involved a little bit. Obviously, it's a lot of fun. It's addicting. Pretty much stopped playing tennis at that point. Started playing some part-time stuff. Traveled to just a couple tournaments and yeah, kind of grew from there.
Walk us through the first time you pick up a pickleball paddle. Obviously, tennis background. What was the initial impression? Because, it's very much a mixed bag coming from tennis, especially from the purists.
Definitely not a purist by any means. I played a bunch of sports growing up, so I got an appreciation for trying new things. Yeah, I think it felt, obviously back then it was slower than it was now. This was like 2018. So the game has changed significantly since then. The paddles were definitely not made the way they are now, and the balls were a lot softer and slower. So first instinct was like, okay, I'm smacking these drives and it's not going anywhere. But still at the kitchen and the hands battles and stuff, I was like, okay, this is pretty fast-paced interaction. I kind of like this. This is kind of fun. So yeah, kind of both for sure.
Awesome. So who got you into pickleball? Is just something you kind of just picked up and tried and liked? Like what kept you going with it?
Yeah. So, like I said, we played a little bit at the country club where I was working, got introduced to, I would say a senior group, at a local church playing on wood floor, with some tape lines. And I don't know if it was the slice they were putting on the ball and on that wood floor combo, but it was challenging. So it was good to get involved with some people that challenged me a little bit to start. And then, you get that competitive edge going. You're like, well, I want to, try to get better at this thing. And then that process kind of takes over. And then, so started gradually playing more. Once I moved to Omaha, there was a bigger pool of players. So there was actually some like 5-0s in Omaha, 4-5-5-0s. So that was definitely a step up and kind of eye-opening and a lot more fun. So,
was there a specific moment that you realized that going pro in pickleball was even really a thing?
I think the PPA was starting around 2020 or so. And I actually went to Vegas, I think 2021. I went to that tournament, played Ben John's second round. So that was a good experience. And it was cool being out there at Darling Tennis Center and seeing this thing kind of actually at a professional setting. So, for myself, I didn't see it as a viable option. And people were like, man, you should like try to go for it. And I was like, nah, I'm coaching. I love coaching, and there's no money and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And met my wife right around then. So I was like, had focuses on other things. So at the time, didn't seem like an option, but yeah, things change.
Yeah, so you kind of got into it, or at least introduced into it, a little earlier than some of the other people we've talked to. 2018 is pretty early into the modern game, really. So you go out and you play a tournament, and people are telling you you should go for it. What makes you finally kind of go to the next level with it and kind of get serious about it?
Yeah, I think ultimately it was God's timing. So you know, pretty big into faith and just kind of asking those questions and like, is this right for me? Is this what you want me to do? And I think the way kind of Mesa unfolded, the timing of my business and hiring a full-time manager, and things settling down at home after, having a newborn, the timing just kind of made more sense, and got a lot of affirmation just through people at my club, and got some support that way that just made it seem like, okay, I think it's time to maybe give it a shot.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Mesa here in a second, but prior to Mesa, what you're playing, I think you said maybe a couple tournaments a year for the past 4 or 5 years. And then did you always feel like you could hang with the top guys? It was just a matter of dedicating the time to do it, or was the Mesa thing like pretty much the eye opener to that you realize you belong on the map there?
No, I mean, I've always thought, if I dedicated the time, invested the time, that I could do it. At what level or what peak, I don't know. But I always had the belief I could. Mesa was more just like, there's just too many factors to where I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. You live once, you're only in your 30s once. So I got a small window here, and I might regret it. I don't know if I would, but I might regret it if I don't give it a shot and fully invest. So let's go for it.
What part of your game do you think changed the most from, when you first started playing, getting into it, going to that first tournament, and then now, or when you went to Mesa? What part of your game do you think has grown?
Yeah, I think just being at the club more, being around pickleball more, coaching more pickleball rather than tennis, you start to pick up just little things, little nuances here and there. You're just the feel of getting a paddle in your hand compared to a racket all the time. Definitely just gives you more confidence on court. So I feel like that was a big thing. A lot of things have changed in my game. The game itself has changed. And ultimately, I think the biggest factor for me was the lifetime ball. I think it definitely just fits who I am as a player. So kind of got lucky there.
We've actually heard that a lot from people that came from tennis. They like the consistency of that ball, compared to other ones. So that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, so you were the runner-up in the 2025 Kitchen Open, playing with Anwar Braham. We've had Anwar on. He's athletically a total freak and a great dude. Was that a first-time partnership, or had you guys played before?
No, we'd actually played San Clemente qualies back, I think it was 2024 or early 2025. And yeah, didn't play well. I played absolutely awful. We lost in the quali second round. And for some reason he decided to partner up with me for the kitchen. And he's just gotten better and better. And that's one guy that I'm like, he's going to be a top guy in doubles for sure. Just his hands and what he can do and the power he has in his wrists. Like I'm excited for him. So yeah, it was a good fit. I think we played a little better in the kitchen than we did in San Clemente.
Good turnout. I know that the guys were roasting you on your podcast about it being the fourth time, but hey, you could have had worse results, and it seems like that's a pretty solid tournament. Everybody has a good time playing that one. So
yeah, it's a fun one.
Oh yeah. Well, let's talk about another one. Let's talk about Mesa. So, you really showed up there. What are you thinking going into that tournament? Is your mind different than any other time?
Yeah, I always have the belief of I'm gonna make a run. But dedicated a little bit more time to that tournament than I had in the past, just with getting the body ready and getting a few more reps in. And like I said, just being around pickleball every day, I just felt a little more confident going in. But yeah, I mean, it was an amazing experience, super fun. It could have ended easily in the second round. Roscoe had me down, and I found a way to get that one. And then Moda had me down and found a way to get that one. And then obviously the Hunter match was awesome. So
Yeah, so I've recently just got into pro pickleball, like the pro scene. And I remember texting Frank and be like, dude, who is this guy that is just taking out everybody? Like I never heard of you, because like I said, I don't really follow it too much. I'm just getting into it, but I was just like blown away by how well you played there. You know, you beat Roscoe, you beat Moda Alhouni, you beat Matt Burkhart and Hunter Johnson, and then playing Chris Hayworth, who is off and on number one. We're down 11-9, you know, in the first game. Like, I was just like, wow, this guy came to play, you know, out of nowhere. It was really impressive.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was great. Great showing for me. I think obviously once you kind of get that Roscoe match, I'm like, okay, I'm here to, you know, take home something, you know. So and then and then make it to the semis. Just that experience on center court was awesome. I love playing in front of a crowd, so that was just fitting and awesome. And had opportunities against Chris. But yeah, it's definitely different. Obviously, going in as a qualifier, you make it through qualifying, and I expect to make it through qualifying, and then it's like, okay, everything else that happens from here is a cherry on top. Like, you know, whatever happens. And playing with that freedom obviously helps. You know, nobody wants to lose to you in that situation. You're a nobody. You're the 72nd seed. So the pressure's on them, the target's on them. So you can just run around the court and let it fly and have fun. So that's kind of what I did.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the crowd was definitely on your side. They were going crazy for you during those games. It was pretty incredible to watch. And then, you know, when you knocked off Hunter Johnson, I think everyone just lost their minds. What did that feel like for you in that moment?
Yeah, it was awesome. I've had a lot of, I would say, important sporting moments all the way, you know, from other sports I played in tennis in college, and been on the shorter end of the stick on a lot of the situations. And honestly, it felt really good to get like a really important win in a big moment, come through in a third game, like a clutch moment. So that it was relief and just ecstatic. I had a bunch of Nebraska people. I had people from my club that they were playing the amateur side, but they were watching my matches. They were all in. The amount of just texts and you know, notifications I got was just awesome. It was a great experience. So.
Yeah, I mean, based on the crowd reaction and the "you got Barlow'd" signs floating throughout, I would have thought that tournament was at Midwest Pickleball. I mean, I don't know that I've seen something. Not that Hunter Johnson's not a likable guy. We've interviewed him too. He's nice guy, but for whatever reason, they were you know, all on your side. But so you mentioned a little bit that you kind of changed the training up a little bit for that. What does that look like? What was, because I made a joke on a previous podcast before. I think you had another run prior to that. Then I was like, I mean, this guy's literally just feels like he's like coming off of his couch, and he's just like, yeah, I guess we'll just try it today and see what happens. And I mean, you're an easy person to get behind. Everybody loves the underdog. But what was the training regimen like, I guess, pre-Mesa, and then how did it change once you started getting a little more serious about it?
Yeah, I wasn't doing too much. I mean, when I say I did more for Mesa, it was a little bit more because I was doing nothing before other tournaments. So I was probably, to be honest, on court 2 or 3 times a week. And I was also recovering from like a knee procedure. So that definitely, you know, stunted the ability to kind of prepare for this. But I would say a month, 6 weeks before, I'm on the court a couple of times a week. Probably 2-3 weeks before, I was hitting the treadmill, getting some miles in, doing some more recovery, doing some more stretching, and then went out there and had fun.
Well, I can't wait to see what we're in for now. This is now that I mean, I can't imagine if you start running on a treadmill 3 days a week, what's going to happen. So
I think I need to go back to what I was doing before Mesa, to be honest. Just care less.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sometimes that's the key. At Mesa Cup, after beating Hunter Johnson, you said the Holy Spirit carried you through when your body was breaking down. Can you talk about that and like the mental and spiritual side of your game? How do you stay locked in during a match like that?
Yeah, it's something I'm constantly working on, and I think that is one of the reasons I'm called to play more, and not only to glorify God and spread the gospel, spread the good word, but also pickleball is requiring me to become more and more dependent on Him. And so in those moments, just learning to let go, surrender, and allow the Holy Spirit to move through me really is a game changer for me. I mean, I used to be the most anxious, fearful person out there in sports. So allowing the Father to work through me, through the Spirit, to kind of change what I'm thinking and giving me peace and comfort and confidence in big moments is it's just awesome. I mean, He's so good. He's a good God. And so excited to dive in deeper to that, become more dependent, and just have Him continue to work on me and have that kind of reflect through my play. That's the goal.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because anxious is not how I would think of your game. To me, confidence is what screams, through your game. Is it just confidence and kind of like playing free, not really worried about anything. So whatever you're doing, obviously it's working there. So you keep doing that. But I want to transition away from Mesa now. And I want to talk about the Newport PPA Challenger. We're big fans of the Challenger. It's kind of where we cut our teeth in the pro scene last October or last November here. We had one in Charleston. And have you played a lot of Challengers, and kind of what was the experience like? What do you think, obviously there's a lot of reps you can get from that are beneficial, but what was your overall experience at Challenger?
Yeah, it was honestly great. I thought it was super professional. I thought it was an efficient tournament for sure, organized. Stacked field, to be honest. It was like a lot of good players. And I think what helped me in Mesa was, having those qualifier matches to kind of shake the rust off, feel a rhythm. And I'm one of those players that, like, if I get a lot of reps in a short amount of time, I play better and better. So that kind of fits my style, that Challenger, playing 5, 6, 7 matches in a row. Like, by the end, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling the ball. Like, I don't have to think anymore. I can just kind of let it rip. So I enjoy that aspect of it. As far as the physical aspect of it, it is a true grind. I don't think my body was quite ready for that. But I did kind of surprise myself. I felt pretty strong at the end of the tournament. And a lot of guys seemed like they were struggling. I think part of that is due to my play style. I like to get in and shorten points at the kitchen, in singles anyway. So I think that kind of benefits me there in that kind of a tournament where I'm not staying on the baseline and playing 20, 30 ball points. So that helps. But overall, great experience. Would do it again for sure. Don't know if I could do all 3 events, but two is a good sweet spot. Was
that your first Challenger then?
Yeah, that was my first one. Yep.
Oh, just picking up gold casually. So that's good. Yeah. Yeah. I got to figure out what you're up to, because I'm not on the same length here, but that's okay. Go ahead, Carl.
We mentioned a lot of the people you have played against, but is there anybody, on tour that you like competing against the most, or is there anyone you haven't matched up with yet that you're kind of itching to play?
Oh, that's a good one. Played most of the guys now. I'd love to get a rematch against Ben, just because I think play styles are completely different, and just would be a fun one. Rematch against Fed would be nice too. Losing in 3 to him in Mesa in 2025. That's on the list too. No, I've been pleasantly surprised. Most of the guys I've played against have been really good sports, and been fun to compete against. So yeah, it's been good.
Travel and tournament life obviously can be pretty brutal. Expenses, the scheduling, wear and tear for somebody who doesn't have monster sponsors like somebody like an ALW behind them. What does the financial reality of competing on tour look like? Because I think some people have a little bit of a misconstrued conception of what people are actually, they just think everybody's a millionaire. I think, but this isn't quite tennis. So
yeah, 100%. For a player that's in my position currently, where I'm at, it is expensive, and it's a risk, right? So That's another factor is like, okay, well, I want to give this a shot, but I also have to be realistic, and I have a family and a business. So it's got to make sense. So trying to get to a spot where it does make sense, I think does take some investment, time, and resources. But yeah, you're covering, your hotel or Airbnb. You're sharing rides with people. I've been hitching some rides. Turo's great. Luckily, I think saving grace for me is one of my employees here at the club has a Marriott corporate code. So I literally am getting the cheapest, nice hotels for cheap. So that's been amazing. So, and I got that free breakfast. So yeah, you're good.
Amazing. It's all in who you know.
Yeah, exactly right.
Obviously pickleball, I think, has been around since like the 60s, but I still kind of think that pro pickleball, the way it looks today, is still somewhat in its like infancy and stuff like that, but it's growing really fast. The tours are really evolving, the PPA, the APP, the MLP. But from a player's perspective, what does the business side of pro pickleball feel like right now? Do you think it's sustainable?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know all the behind the scenes numbers. It seems like the way they're restructuring contracts is a good thing for the PPA. A lot less, obviously they're giving a lot less guaranteed money out, making players, earn their prize money. Everything's incentive based, which is how you have to run a business. So I think that's in their favor. I think, at least what I'm seeing for viewership numbers, it seems like they're getting to the point where there's enough traction to get some quality sponsors. And that's the name of the game. If you can get, those TV contracts and some sponsorships, you can make it, even without huge spectator numbers in person. But I'm honestly pretty optimistic. And I think I'm kind of getting in at a time where I think in a couple of years, it's going to be really professional. And I'm super excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, so I want to just transition to Midwest Pickleball Club. We've kind of hit on it a few times, but how did that idea first come together, and kind of give us a rundown of the space and how many courts and the whole thing?
Yeah, just a blessing from God, the whole thing. I never would have thought I would have an opportunity to co-own a business by any means, especially coming out of, mid-major D1 college tennis, being a coach. Like you're not making much money doing that. But my business partner was in real estate. Shout out Ryan Potter. And he had this idea. He got into pickleball and he's just like any of us, got addicted to it, loves pickleball, and was like, why don't we have a dedicated pickleball facility in Omaha? Like, where do people go in the winter? And there's 500,000 just in Omaha, and the metro is like 1 million. So the population can sustain it for sure. So he's just kind of started putting it into a plan. He went down and consulted with a club in Houston, Texas, just to kind of get an idea how they ran things. On the flight back, he's like, okay, he called his wife. He's like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm getting a facility together. I just need a partner. So what does he do? He goes to Duper, and he looks up top Duper players in Omaha, Nebraska. And I was luckily at the top of the list. If I wasn't, I would have never had this opportunity. So he DM'd me and was like, hey man, you want to go get some lunch? So we went to Panera, sat down and kind of just connected, meshed well. I think just partnered on just values and things we wanted to see out of a club. Decided to partner on it. And that's kind of how it came out. So we found a warehouse space in Southwest Omaha. It's technically Papillion, but we serve the Omaha Metro. We have 14 indoor courts and we have 41,000 square feet. So it's a massive space. Our ceilings are 36 foot high. So it's not like your normal, like tight, compact space. It's spacious. We have glass windows in the corner. So there's a lot of natural light. And I love it here. Like, I think God put us in this location for a reason, because the people and our first initial members are just such good people that really, because of them, they kind of spread, the word and got their friends and like-minded people in our space. And just an awesome community here.
I didn't realize there was like such a big pickleball crowd in Omaha. I would have never guessed that, but that's really cool. Really cool.
Everything's late to Nebraska, but they're catching on. They're figuring out it's a good sport. So we're getting there.
It sounds like you were early to the indoor game, so good for you. Because around here, I feel like we're getting to the point where there's too many of them. So hopefully, for your sake, it just stays you.
I hope so too.
Also, previously, you were the head tennis coach at the University of Nebraska, and now you've been coaching pickleball for 7 years. When you were first learning, did you have like a coach, or is it just the older crowd that kind of brought you in and taught you how to play, or was it more self-taught?
Yeah, I think more self-taught, just through experience and getting reps and watching some YouTube videos. Those are always helpful. So, yeah, just really, I think one thing people forget to do is just experiment and get creative when they play. And if that means losing a few games, I think that's okay. So sometimes people forget that, but I think just a lot of experimenting and trying to be creative and trying to make the ball do what you want it to do has kind of helped me.
So when you first started, though, like when you were first teaching yourself, were you doing more like drilling, or were you just going out and playing and kind of like working on it as you played?
Oh, definitely just playing at the start. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely at the park playing. And then I'm like, okay, let's see what drilling session looks like for pickleball. Did that a little bit. Mostly still just played because it's fun. So
yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, the rec players are going to love to hear that because nobody wants to drill. So so they know that's you're not going to be a 6.0 plus by not drilling. But I'm going to keep trying.
Hey, you never know.
Outside of running the pickleball facility, some coaching, you are freshly signed to the PPA. Is that correct as well?
Yeah.
So, and then you also run a pickleball podcast out of Midwest Pickleball. How did that come about?
Honestly, I have no idea. One of my buddies here, shout out Milo. We hit together, we train and coach each other a little bit. But he was like, I got this podcast equipment. I got like $2,000 worth of podcast equipment in my basement. He's like, could we like create a podcast or a show? And I was like, why not? Like, so got our manager at the time, Landon. He hopped in and created the Paddle Guys. So yeah, we just talked shop. Initially, it was going to be more just community based and kind of focusing on Midwest Pickleball Club. But yeah, we just ended up talking about some hot topics a little bit and a little bit about the pro scene and stuff like that, and just having fun with it. Yeah, as you guys do. So
yeah. Well, I mean, there is a part on there that I do have to call out because there was a discussion on whether or not you could beat Anna Lee Waters, and I think we could put this to bed because Hunter Johnson did beat her 7-0 in a practice match, and you beat Hunter Johnson. So I think we're done here, right?
There we go. All right, I'm going to turn this computer around. You're going to tell that to all my members. There's still people out there right now playing that don't think I can beat her.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why people would be like, "Oh, he's just hyping himself," but they're very different games. As we just saw with Jeannie playing James Blake and Andre and Anna Lee. So that's it's very different. Those two, the two games.
Don't get me wrong; she's amazing.
But, no argument.
With everything going on, how do you structure your schedule during like a tournament week?
Yeah, so like I said, luckily I have a full-time manager now, and she's been just amazing here at the club. So some of that load is off. Obviously, I still have responsibilities and administrative stuff that I'm doing on a weekly basis, answering emails, programming, talking to sponsors, setting up meetings, anything to grow the business. So that's always a factor. I really tried to focus on the play, which has been good. So with me, body's still really transitioning to this whole thing. So I got to do a lot of like prep and a lot of recovery. So that takes up most of my time when I'm on the road and playing. And then obviously you're playing your matches and warming up and stuff. So time goes quick. There's not enough time in the day. Just try to balance it all. So
where do you see yourself in the sport, let's say 3 years from now? Still grinding on tour, focusing on building MPC, or something bigger, some version of both? What do you think it looks like 3 years or more down the road?
God willing, top 5 in singles, and the business is thriving, and my family gets to travel with me and be at the PPAs. And yeah, I think that would be a dream. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, I'm gonna invest in playing and give it a shot and go all in for just a little bit and kind of see where it goes.
Yeah, we're rooting for you here, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
All right, Frank, should we do some rapid fire?
Yeah, I think we probably should. I mean, nobody can get away from the rapid fire questions. And by rapid, we mean however long you feel like answering a question. Because again, this show is very poorly produced, and we don't actually have a standard operating procedure on any of this. So,
yeah, I'll just I'll ask some questions. You can answer them however long you want, and we'll just move through them. So, first one: forehand or backhand?
Backhand.
Ernie or ATP? Which is more satisfying to hit?
ATP.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I haven't done karaoke in years, guys.
If you're just singing in your car,
probably something Rascal Flatts, I guess, when I used to go to a country bar or something like that.
Nice. What is your favorite tournament venue?
I never play well there, but San Clemente.
A lot of people say that one. We need to be out there, Frank.
Yeah, definitely.
One pro you would want as your doubles partner for a tournament?
Patrick Quinn.
Pre-match pump-up song?
Usually some worship of some sort. I switch it up all the time.
Omaha, is it underrated or overrated?
Underrated, for sure. One of the best cities in the country.
Coffee order at Midwest Mug?
Black coffee.
Good
That's
man.
it. You got it right here.
See?
Amazing. What is the best movie of all time?
The one I've seen the most, hate to say it, but probably Happy Gilmore.
I love it. I still haven't seen Happy Gilmore 2. I need to.
It's obviously not as good.
Yeah, I love the original. If pickleball didn't exist, what sport are you competing in professionally?
That I would like to? Or
even what sport are you doing outside of pickleball even?
Right now, probably the only thing I would play ever would be golf. So
Nice.
that'd be pretty chill, to be honest.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. One player on tour you'd never want to play in a tiebreaker.
Yeah, it's a good one. Fed seems pretty tough in thirds. He got me in a third. So,
what's the last thing you do before you walk on court for a big match?
try to relax. Yeah, a few deep breaths and just try to be present.
Awesome. All right, one more here. What is your goal for the next 12 months?
Just put in work and see where the process takes me.
Well, you did it. That's all we have for you. I want to give you a chance to shout out any your socials for your personal account or the club, and any sponsorship that you have. Anything that you want to shout out here.
Instagram is Matthew Barlow 17 or something like that.
We'll
we
put
got
it on the
Paddle
screen.
Guys podcast. After you listen to theirs and subscribe to theirs, then you can check out Paddle Guys podcast and Midwest Pickleball Club on Instagram or our website. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got right now.
Well, we really appreciate you hopping on with us. It was great to talk to you now, and then obviously wishing nothing but the best for you going forward. Maybe we'll do this again after you get that win over Ben or Fed or whoever the next person is. But
The next giant to be slayed.
will you be in Atlanta, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, it's 2,000 points, baby. Let's go.
We'll be there. So we will see
sweet.
you. Yeah, we will see you in Atlanta, but we really appreciate the time. Yeah, this is episode 27 of Unforced Errors with Matthew Barlow. We appreciate you watching this and tuning in. We will be back for another episode soon, unfortunately for all of you. But you can follow us at Unforced Errors PB, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.